Hi, this is Chris from Beer Money Cars, and this is 5 mechanical faults you need to know before you buy your Bentley Continental GT. So this only applies to the older cars. Mine's an 04 and I've had this problem. You're driving along and then all of a sudden the front of the car hits the floor and the airbags can go on the suspension. I replaced mine and the car would go up, but as soon as I drove it, it would slowly go back down again. And what the problem turned out to be is the height level control arms on the sensors are broken. So I had no idea of knowing how high or low the car was. So always give those a check, because it might not have been my suspension. It might have been the level control sensor arms that are broken. So it's the same with a lot of luxury cars. You've got two batteries, one is for starting the car and one is for the electrical systems. In the Bentley they're both in the boot, left and right. Well, my car is a 2004 and it's probably had the same batteries in there for quite a while, and it's normally the cause of a lot of electrical problems when the batteries start to go. For example, you see a lot of people with problems with the rear wing not going up and down, and for my car it was the boot lock not working properly. So when you get the car, it's not going to be cheap, probably £300 to £500. Just replace them. That way you'll know if you do have any electrical problems, it's probably not down to the batteries. When I commented about my wing not working in the forums, I always got the same reply, that it was the batteries. So after I replaced the batteries and still having the problem, I decided to have a look at the wiring. What you'll find is two wiring looms that go up either side of the boot. If you take away the rubber from there, you'll find that if you pull the wires, the larger ones are most likely broken. What's happened is where you've opened and closed the boot so many times, it's broken through the insulation and then rusted through the wiring. So by cutting them back into the boot and into the car and replacing them, you'll find you better get the wing working properly. Another thing to check for while you're doing this is the drainage holes underneath the wing. If you take the carpet away, on the rear of the boot you will see the rubber pipes that go through for the water drainage. Also in there's these two black plastic tubs that the water goes into before it goes into the pipe. They're held in there with some silicone, and after a while it gets brittle and starts to crack and then water goes through there. So when you've got this all apart, put a good dollop of silicone all the way around there and you shouldn't have any problems with water leaking into the boot. So I'm not here to do any scaremongering, but if you're going to buy an older, cheaper Bentley, you have to be aware that the vacuum pipes may need replacing. If they need to be replaced, you have to take the engine out, because the pipes run across the top of the gearbox and there's no other way to get access to them. You can have a look down the back of the engine and see if any have gone brittle, and that will give you a good indication. Make sure the car drives nicely. If it has problems boosting, there's probably a leak somewhere. I believe it's 2007 plus that they changed the layout of the vacuum pipes, so you don't have to worry about it for those ones. So Bentley, whilst rummaging through the parts bin, found these plastic handbrake motors from a Audi A8 and thought that would be perfect for their car. The problem is they get hot, they crack, let water in, and it just destroys electronics on the inside. They run also via a little belt in there, plastic belt, and that can break and it makes a horrible high-pitched squeaking noise. The good news is you don't have to buy a Bentley one, because that's about £300. You can go on eBay and buy one for an Audi A8, which is about £40, and it's exactly the same thing. So I've changed both of them on mine and they work perfectly now. You'll know they're not working when you try and flick the parking brake switch. It will flash at you and that means that they're not working. And if you're lucky, they'll stop working in the off position, because otherwise you're going to have to take the wheel off and take the motor off to be able to move your car. Well, I hope that helped you. If so, please hit that subscribe button and see more videos of me trying to keep my bargain Bentley on the road.